Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV with me, your host Phil Leonard.
And I'm your host, Josh Summersgill.
Today's podcast, we have the legend, the man, the myth, the mystery that is Matt.pilling. Matt has gone from super fat to super fit, back again, and back to somewhere in between. He's never afraid of a challenge. He's a
Let's
YouTuber.
rewind this a little bit, shall we?
What was that, mate?
Let's go back a little bit. And let's somewhere in between, maybe just slightly not as slim as they used to be.
I think now you're just healthy. We'll go with that.
Yes.
Except for them Haribo that you just scoffing. But what can I say? Because I had Pringles again today. Anyway, so
Barbecue Pringles.
Matt is a Beaver Scout master.
Leader.
Sorry. All right. What's the difference?
Beaver leader. King Beaver.
Master sounds too odd.
King Beaver.
King of the Beavers.
What else is Matt? He's representative for Swan. He's got 3 kids. He's got a super busy life, and you're also head of Prince's Trust for what
Greater
division?
Manchester.
Greater Manchester. Sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, we know that you're super busy, and you've always had a bit of a busy life going on. Basically, first thing I want to know is, how did you find CrossFit? What makes you stick to it? What makes you keep coming back?
So I found CrossFit twice, really. I found it the first time years ago when I first met these two, years and years ago at CrossFit Warrington. As Phil said, it used to be really, really fat. Used to run, got really thin by actually running. And then I thought, this is rubbish. I want to actually be, because like when you run, it's in essence, it's boring after a while. You're just running in a straight line there and back, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something different. Found CrossFit Warrington, did that for two years or so. Then left that due to loads of issues going on at home, and then want to come back to it. Realised these two had actually started their own thing. Joined there 3 years ago, I think it is now. Warrington 3 years ago, LST 3 years ago, and go from there. Really. And why do I keep doing it? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, I enjoy it. One, I really do enjoy it. It's
That's not what you say when you're in a class.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it once it's finished and I've stopped sweating. Stop feeling sick. Secondly, I do it because it's that 1 hour a day when you don't have to be a boss, a dad, a son, a father, a mate. You're just there to do your class. You can just switch off and you are told what to do. That's the best thing. You haven't got to think. You're there to do it. 3, I'm there because really of these two, what they have.
Like that. My screen, you're on the bottom, so you just pointed at the floor. It's like,
Oh, so
Yeah, me too. I'm top right.
Josh, that's Phil. Okay, these two.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because of these two and what they have created at LST, the friends, the family, the community, the place where anybody can go and just be themselves and explore and bring their family if they need to, do different things. And nothing is usually too much of an ask. You usually get a few jibs and jibes while you're doing it, but nothing's an ask, and that's why I keep coming back. And I think you only realise that when you can't go anymore. Because once you're there every day, all day, it's your life, you enjoy it. Like you don't know what you've got till it's gone, sort of thing. You don't know until you step back and go, actually, this is why I've missed this. I miss my friends, the community, being told to do that hour I can just switch off and exercise and die and complain and swear a lot and not wear a t-shirt. You know what I mean? So it's what it is.
It's what it's all about. Not wearing a t-shirt is the main thing. So obviously you've always managed to sort of like, even with like say a few setbacks, but you've always managed to get your hour a day in, and it sounds like you do it more for your mental health than anything else. But one thing that I want to mention is obviously you're a big proponent of the charity Swan, and I'll let you go into so people understand why your life is probably a little more busy than the average job. I'll let you go into explaining what exactly Swan is and
Yeah.
why it's so impressive that you always manage to get your hour a day in.
It's not impressive. It's just you make time, isn't it? So, Swan. Why we got Swan? Obviously, firstly, I've got three kids, and how I describe the kids is I've got an older one, I've got a faulty one, and I've got a ginger one. The issue is the one in the middle is the faulty one. I'm not saying I can't be his dad. I also told Matt, and then when I come to the gym, sometimes I go to Phil. Seriously, Riley was being ultra bell and disabled this weekend. I need a break. So that, sometimes it can be bad. But yeah, what it is. So he was born very premature. He was born at 31 weeks. We were in intensive care with him in the NICU for 7 to 8 weeks, and all they kept saying is that he'll be fine. He'll catch up. Wasn't until he was about 2.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Sorry, Matt. That's Google.
Well, I've got a speech impediment normally. I don't need you chipping in. Yeah, it wasn't until he was 2 and they go, actually, there's something wrong here. He isn't walking. He's not talking. He's not using. He can't control himself. He can't do things. And they started taking notice of us. So we went through loads of tests, loads of tests. Every test come back saying, we don't actually know. We don't know what's wrong with him. There is something wrong. It's blatantly, you can see it. There's something wrong with him, but there's no actual name for it. We don't know where it is. They say it's a freak genetic mutation in the womb is what happened. So we need to look at look at every genome in the human body and find out where it's gone wrong. But that's like looking for a needle in a haystack in the world full of haystacks. So you need to find the right haystack in the world first before you start looking for the needle in it. Wow. So that's what's going on with him. So in essence, what his issues are, apart from me being his dad, is that he has a very low muscle tone, which is what his main issue is. So that means what that means is if he's got low muscle tone, you don't realise that your speech is a muscle. So he struggles to speak. He can't form his words, control his tongue. He can't swallow very, very well. So the flap at the back of your throat that controls so you don't swallow, what doesn't go into your lungs, he can't control that. So he's got to like thicken him in his drink, otherwise he chokes and stuff gets stuck in his throat. He hasn't got any sensation in his bowels, so he has to wear nappies. Can't walk more than like 20 foot by himself. I get him tired. He has to in a buggy. Can't control pens. He shakes a lot. His eyes go wonky when he's tired. Oh, he doesn't sweat.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
He doesn't sweat. So if he's really annoying me, I'll lock him in the car with the heating on. You know what I mean? And he's like crack a window. So that's what it is really, and you don't realise how to us now that's sort of normal. That's our normal life. Like, he chokes a lot. Yet used to try and get something out of his throat, or he nearly passing out because he can't breathe, or you have to speak Makaton sign language, and you're changing nappies, and you can't go out when it's hot. Anyway, we can't go out when it's hot. Can't go out when it's hot. We can't go out when it's windy because like there's sort of flap in the back of his throat. If the wind gets in his mouth, he can't control it because he can't breathe, or you have to pull his buggy backwards all the time. So that's what it is. So Swan, that's the original story. Swan is a charity. Swan stands for Syndromes Without a Name. So that's what Riley is. We don't know what's actually wrong. There's about 10,000 children a year born in England with this. Most of them are classed as global developmental delay. That means that in essence they don't know what's wrong. And so that's what Swan does. But it doesn't just support Riley; it supports his brother, his sister, and us as a unit. Because like Fred and Ruby are great, and they know they can't do things. We can't go to trampoline parks together. We can't go on holiday anywhere hot. That sometimes when Riley's kicking off and screaming like mad, they just go whatever and just like deal with it. So they let them be children again without having to deal with it. And like dads as well, but like dads be dads, and because as a dad it's your role in life to fix things. So but you can fix a broken shelf or fix a car or go out and earn for your family, but if you don't know what's wrong with your child, you don't know how to fix them. So you can feel quite alone and isolated at times. So that's what Swan is. That's why I am passionate about them, and that's why 2 years ago we did a big thing at the gym, which was absolutely amazing. Then I said to Phil one day, can we just do like it's undiagnosed Children's Day? Can we do like a bit of the theme is superheroes? Can we do a little bit of a thing where maybe one of us wears a cape and we have a bit of a laugh just to raise some money? And unbeknownst to me, the whole gym was like on board with this. It was amazing. So every class was doing it, even the 6 a.m. class dressed up in capes and stuff. The 4:30 class was huge. Everyone was doing muscle ups dressed as Spider-Man, and it was absolutely amazing. We raised about £400 that day, and I have never got over how amazing that's what, to me, sold the community of the place. And I always talk about that, and the whole of the Swan community know about LST and what they do and how they support Riley. That was it in a nutshell. I can talk forever, so just cut me off.
No, that's good. That's what we want.
That was awesome, and like I say, that I think that sums up, like I say, sums up Swan really well.
Yeah, amazing.
And like I said, I'll mention it later on as well. Get some links off you, but if people do want to support Swan and they want to donate, want to do anything, I'll get some links off you in the end and stick them in the show notes. And I know there's some really cool stories about Riley on Swan as well, isn't there, that you've done?
Yeah, we've done a few things. We've done a few videos. We did a video 2 years ago for that was for me. We were interviewed by Sky News last year as well. We were on Sky News about that. We did a documentary for them. A bit of a story, because obviously Riley got the big blonde curly hair and the blue eyes. You go, oh, he's so cute, isn't he nice? Also, if you live with him, you're like, you're little shit. It's just hard work. Some days it's hard. You just like when you can't breathe. You're sat on, like the other day when he was choking on a bit of chocolate on his throat. We thought he was dead because he just like passed out on the floor, and then I just sat on the floor just cuddling him, and you don't know what to do, and the other kids are there as well, and sometimes you're like, I just need to go to the gym for an hour just to escape this and just switch off and jump on a box and do something stupid to get all the frustration out. Yeah,
definitely. And it's, do you know, like I think it's good to hear it coming from you, because even though like from the outside perspective it'll sound like quite an extreme thing, but it's not just yourself that says the same thing. Everybody we spoke to talks about how it's a psychological release. It's a stress buster as much as anything else. And like I say, no matter who we seem to talk to, like as soon as kids are involved, it's like, yeah, go there to get to release some stress. It's an hour of me time. It probably says a lot about you that your hour of you time sometimes leave you feeling sick. And
I think that says more about you and your programming, to be honest, rather than me.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think our program is dead easy.
Yeah, whatever.
No.
Well, isn't it like as soon as that clock beeps, close, like the whole 3, 2, 1 thing, your brain just switches off. The next thing in your head is the next rep. Am I going to make this lift? Am I going to make that jump? Am I going to get above that bar? It's not thinking about, oh, what are the kids doing? Well, I need to do this. I need to get his medication ready for him. What's work happening? What are my emails like? You're thinking in the now. You are present at that time in that place, rather than your mind being in 97 other places at the same time. I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think for anybody who lives in a high stress world like yourself, like I said, we spoke to Kate the other day, who's a critical care nurse as well. Same sort of thing. If it's high stress, then having that hour a day, hour and a half a day, I think people who don't do it would underestimate the importance of doing it.
Yeah,
absolutely. So cool. Yeah, like I said, I think that's a really important message for everybody to take away from it. The other thing that I want to talk to you about as well is I know you've dealt with a lot of setbacks in your training. From, like you say, you started off at CrossFit Warrington, and I remember you there because I think you beat me in a workout once.
You were my nemesis in that place.
He did really, really want to beat me all the time.
I still do now, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think I always actually remember that you never really beat me in classes. Like it was always like 1 or 2 reps, but I always managed to beat you by just a little bit. And then we did the competition, And Stu Bathgate, who we had on yesterday, me and him trained the day before, and he absolutely fucking ended me. And
all I can hear now is an excuses. That's all I'm hearing right now. That's all that's coming through this month, mate.
we did an in-house competition, and Matt.pilling beat me in like every single workout. So that's like,
I just bring it when it matters, mate. I just bring it when it matters. You know what I mean? What it is. Game day.
Like, lesson learned. But I'll never forget the smug look on his face after workout one when he beat me by 1 rep. I was like, this is bullshit. No, you can imagine how sweaty he was and how happy he was.
Very, very sweaty and very smiley. You know what I mean? I do sweat a lot. It does freak me out a little bit, to be honest.
Maybe you're doing Riley sweating for him.
And maybe it's what it is. Maybe it's what I've got his sweat gene in me.
So, like I said, so basically I was saying about dealing with setbacks. So you was at CrossFit Warrington, you had some issues there that meant that you had to take a break. And then, like you can elaborate on that if you want. It's entirely up to you. But basically you had an issue there. You had to take a break from that. Then obviously you got into awesome shape when you was with us, and then the world turned upside down. You got laid off, and now we're working our way back from that as well. So the main thing I want just, if you want to explain what you can about that, and how you deal with coming back from setbacks, it'd be a really nice thing for people.
Definitely. Yeah. So the setback that Phil talked to you about Warrington was that obviously I was diagnosed with a non-cancerous brain tumour. Not serious. I'm still here. My brain's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, it's not cancer, which is good. It's there now still. I just take medication twice a week to make sure it's not trying to overtake my head. It is there, but at the time I couldn't. It wouldn't let me train. It wouldn't let me focus. If my heart rate got too high, I would go dizzy and sort of wasn't. It didn't end well when you had a bar in your hand or you jump on the box. So that now I lost my voice at your place for 14 weeks and wasn't even doing anything wrong at that point.
I remember that.
Oh, mate.
14 weeks of my life.
That's a setback. That's a setback. 14 weeks. Yeah, so setback there, and then obviously I come back to Warrington. And then obviously, last time last year, it was like I found out I was getting made redundant. Obviously, you like go spiral, mental health goes out there from that point. So how do you come back from that? It's the mindset. It's all about mindset at the present time. When you're in it, you're in that deepest possible, oh, my life is messed up sort of moment. You don't know where to think. You don't, and you've got to accept that's okay. You got to accept that sometimes you can't control everything. You can't control what's happening with your life, with work. And it's okay not to feel okay. It's okay to feel a bit down and crap and not in control. But it's how long you let yourself feel like that is the issue, and who you've got around you to continue to pull you out of it. So in terms of the most recent one, where obviously with work this time last year, the two people who helped me in terms of the gym would be, he is there for me, would be Philip here. And
but I look after him as well.
and SPE as well. So them two, well, they were the people who were constantly, they let me wallow in my own self-pity for about 3 hours, and then we're like, okay, now what can we control here? What can we change? And they were there. And it's having them people around you who will put up with it and will go to you, okay, one thing that you can control, one thing that you can change, grab hold of that, control that. And to me, that control was, I can control when I train. The one thing I could control in all of this was when I train and how hard I train. So that was it. And that hour, that 45 minutes, wherever it was, because I don't usually do the warm-up, so it's literally about 45 minutes, that's what I could control. And I knew if I could get to the gym, I can get through the day, get to the gym, see these couple of people who would keep me focused on doing that one goal, you could get through it. And once your head starts coming up on the other side, what is it? Low trajectory, high results. Philip again. You can start seeing out of the clouds and lifting your head up, and that's when you continue to put more things in the basket that you can control. So, okay, if you want to move a mountain, move one rock at a time. Put that one rock in that basket, move it over. And that's what it was, and making sure that I was held accountable for what it was and what I was doing. That's what this bit was. The time before, when I come to LST for the first time, it was more about, okay, how do I get fit? How do I get fit? That's what I wanted to do. It wasn't about mental health, it's how do I get fit? And it was moving from there again, controlling the controllables, what I ate, how I trained, the slow increase in what I was doing, and then switching that mindset on. As soon as that mindset, I talk my hands a lot, don't I? As soon as you switch that mindset on, you know you can keep going it. For me, I'm either all or nothing. I am either 100% in, or I'm just going to eat pizza and chips for life, sort of thing. And once you're in there, you're in there. I think that's where it was. And once you start doing it, then you become a bit obsessed then with the scales and your macros and all this sort of stuff. And then, so it's having them people, the same people who will push you in the right direction to hold you back if you're going too far in the wrong direction as well. So I think it's about mindset, controlling the controllables, and having the right people around you who will hold you accountable for your actions.
So do you think that, so obviously coming through all this and like overcoming all these like problems or obstacles, would you say that for you now, an obstacle is just an obstacle? Doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah.
And do you think that other people can apply that? So obviously everyone's got stuff going on, and obviously to some people certain problems are obviously bigger than others, depending on obviously what they're going through and what have you. And I think you'd probably say that anyone should and can apply everything you've just talked about to almost get the same results, can't they?
Yeah,
they've got a problem, look at it like this, and you can and will get through it.
Yeah, because everyone's problem is their own problem, and like to me, I might feel like it's a small problem for them, but for them, it could be their whole world right now. So you can't say how big or small someone else's problem is.
No,
but it's just like it is a mindset. To me, it's okay. I can do this. Let's just think about it differently. There's always a way. There's always a way you can do stuff. Like mostly, even with like Riley, because a lot of the volunteering I do outside of, I'm a beaver leader. I'm like local inclusion officer, and then I'm on the scouting national team as well about inclusion, making things accessible. Because to me, why can't Riley or other kids like Riley do things? Why can't they go rock climbing? Why can't they camp out? Why can't they be in scouts? And there's always a way. You just need to think about it differently. Yeah. But when you're in that crisis that you're in at that point, it's how you have the mindset or the mental resilience to say, okay, let me think about this differently. That's then having that bit, and that's a learned skill that you need to go through every time you go through something. If it's on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, you need to let's think about this differently. Because some days I can not do it. I can't do it. I go, oh my God, my life is shit. It's all falling apart. I just want to sit at home, eat ice cream, watch Star Wars and cry. That's all I want to do. But the next day I'm like, no, actually, today's a good day. Let's think about this differently. What can I do to make a change? What's that one rock I can move off this massive mountain that's in the way to start shrinking it? Let's move it away slowly. And everyone can do it if they want to, if they've got the resilience to, if they've got the life experience that allows them to think that way. Yeah. And if they've got the right people around them that will support them in that.
So what stuck out for me there was the fact that when you said, like you say, you've got resilience too, and like I think the life experience is probably the most important as well, because what you tend to find is like until people have dealt with things that they see as a big obstacle, and again, I might say, your perspective might be different to mine because you deal with it's like say you've had a brain tumor, so you've got a different perspective on what sort of shit you can get through.
Yeah, higher, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So, but like having that experience of okay, I've been let go from a job before. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like, and I always think back to, like, it's nowhere near on the same scale, but I think back to, I remember being abroad and not having anywhere to live, not having any money, not having, and like just being like, I'll be all right. And I literally like rented a scooter and figured out and went round driving around to try and find a job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, and I always look back at that situation and go, I had no job, I had no money, I had nowhere to live, and I was in a foreign country.
Mm.
But I was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, and I did figure it out, and it turned out to be like one of the best like periods of my life. So like, it's again having that life experience to go, you know what, it will be all right, and I will figure it out. And
Yeah, exactly. And you never know how resilient you can be or how resilient you need to be until you're put in that place where you need to make that choice that says, actually, can I do this or can I not do this? And I think some of the previous work that I've done in working with young people with an alcohol addiction, drug addiction, or missing from home, and that they've taken the choice where they've gone, actually, I can't do this anymore. The best way for me is to inject myself with heroin or take my own life. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. I have been at that point where actually you've been stood there going, which is the crossroads I need to take?
yeah,
Do I feel that low? I can either take my own life or I can make a change. That's the crossroad that you can be at. I'm not gonna lie. I have been there and I have done that 5 or 6 years ago. Going, this is going to end one way or the other, either me alive or me dead. And I want it to be live, but let's try and make it that way. So you never know where life's going to take you until you're in that point. So we should never try and judge anybody for what they're going through at that point. We should try and help them through it, be listening to them, supporting them, holding them accountable. And if you know that person, you know which buttons to press to help them through it.
yeah,
Like Phil knows which buttons to press on me to get me through stuff, to get me through. Like last year, you're like, no, let's focus on what we can control. Let's do this. You push them buttons and I got through it. Whereas if you push the wrong button on the wrong person, you can make it worse. So don't think you have to have all the answers. Sometimes they just need someone to be there and sit next to them and not say a word. They need someone just to have a laugh with them or say, just shut the fuck up and get on with life. Am I allowed to swear on these things?
Yeah.
We, we give up on not swearing about 5 minutes into episode 1.
Okay. Wow, I'm like a potty mouth going on there. Well, that's what it is. That's what it is. And this has got serious all of a sudden. Can we talk about something that happened?
We'll come on to that, don't worry.
Yes, so it is, and that's what I'm passionate about. It's about let's be there for someone when they need you to be, and let's not try and work out what that needs to be until you are there. Don't make a judgment about how you could help someone before you've spoke to them directly, because they might need to sit next to them, buy them a beer, work out with them, or just let them cry on you. That you don't know, and that could be the change in their life. Or you just having a conversation with them, sharing them about your life, might be the trigger they need to think, actually, I can get through this.
Yeah. Like, it's one of the things I was actually thinking about yesterday, that it's one of the sad things about the gym being closed. As much as we can all like talk to each other and see each other on Zoom and we all keep each other company and stuff, like just not having that like support group of everybody being there when, like, okay, I'm having a shit day, I'm just going to go to the gym and have a moan to somebody, and you can guarantee there'll be somebody there that'll listen. Do you know what I mean? Like, there might be one person on a class, but that, like, it's the coach, and he's gonna sit down and go, she's gonna sit down and go, yeah, come on, like, how's your day been?
Yeah, because you know at the gym, everyone's there for the same reason. So even if everyone's lives are completely different, which they are in the gym, which is the one great thing about it, everyone's life is completely different. But at that one point, at one time, you're all there for the same reason, and you share that common goal. Yeah. In a world where everything is individual, we consume our own media through Netflix, we consume our own music individually, we read our own stuff ourselves. That's the one shared experience that people still do together. They train together as a group, and you can go, if I'm having the world's shittest day and I feel like crap, I know I can go and I can share this experience with other people. Doesn't matter if they are 30 years older than me, 20 years younger than me, we're all there together to achieve this one thing together. We can sweat together, laugh together, cajole each other. And I think in the world of individualism, you're there as a collective, and you can't buy that.
Yeah, beautiful. I think that's like I think we'll leave it there for the serious stuff because I think
Yeah.
that comes
Ooh,
with
move on.
serious stuff. No, but again, that was beautiful. That was exactly what we like. I think people need to hear sometimes. And let's face it, if one person hears the podcast and takes something from it and is helped by it,
exactly.
then it's worth doing. And it's basically the reason we wanted you on, because I knew you'd give some good take-home messages like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit like sort of like youth work, isn't it? You never know. Like youth work, you plant a seed in a young person's head. You forget about, but they remember 25 years later. I could walk and meet young people that I was a youth worker with 20 years ago. And they go, "Do you remember that day in 1997? God, when we did this?" I'm like, "No, mate," but he remembers it like it was yesterday. And it's like, well, I remember that, and I've done this because that, and done that. Like, oh wow, you never know what's going to happen from what you say.
Lovely, jubbly. So, fun questions.
Okay.
So I normally do 3, but I'm going to throw a couple at you and just see where we go. So first one, book or film recommendation, or both.
Well, see, I like movies. This is obvious. Top 3 or 4 movies. What I'm talking. So, Fight Club every day of the week. Fight Club, not because of Fight Club, but because of the message that is behind it. If you wipe out everyone's debt, everyone goes back to normal. Everyone's on the same playing field again. Amazing film. And the more you watch it, the more you see things.
Yeah.
All 20 Marvel films, all 9 Star Wars films is in there, and then Dead Poets Society, amazing, because that seeing things differently. But I stand on my desk to give you a different point of view is amazing. It's an amazing thing that Robin Williams says in that film. Amazing film. Book wise, I've just read the Nike book, Shoe Dog. Absolutely amazing. Loved it. I'm more in love with Nike now than I was beforehand. Hence all the Nike boxes. Yeah.
I feel like Pilling would have crushed our pub quiz last night, going off just recommendation. So one of the questions on the pub quiz was who created Nike, and another question was what is in the end credit sequence of Fight Club, what is Ed Norton's character called?
Tyler Durden.
No,
that's Brad Pitt.
His name?
That's Brad Pitt.
No, that's it. That's his name. They both got the same name.
No, it says the narrator.
Nah.
Still would have failed.
What else? Brilliant book is The History of Bees. Read that. It's not about actually. It is about.
You told me about that ages ago.
It's set in 3 different time periods. About in the past when they just hear about bees and what they can do. Now in the present when bees are starting to disappear, in the future when all the bees have gone, how life has changed without them.
Okay.
Brilliant book. That was brilliant. Or any Marvel comic book I have a stack just here. Best one so far. This one. This one now. There you go. Machine Man. There you go. Any comic book. Machine Man.
Machine Man, is that even a thing?
He's in 2020 Iron Man's AI army. It sounds horrendous when I say it out loud, but that's what it is. Or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or another great movie.
Okay. Right.
With Miles.
Won't say what we said earlier.
Right, next question.
Okay. What would the title of your autobiography be?
Here's another fucking problem.
I think that's it.
Yeah, well, it is. Oh, here we go. What's wrong today? It's probably or always one faulty one, ginger one.
I like. Yeah. I think I like all of those. I think they'd all fit you quite well.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got 24 hours to spend with any one person, and you can learn as much as you possibly can from that.
You see, I heard this on Craig's one. I was thinking about this answer.
Go on.
See, it was a few. Obviously, there's always a few in there with me. But the one person I would say, someone who I massively admire for what they achieved, what they did, how they do it, and it is Barack Obama. I think he's an absolutely amazing guy. the way you realize, you read about his past, where he's come from, the amount of pressure he was under to become the first Afro-American president in America, where the racism is rife, what he achieved and what he tried to achieve while he was in office, the opposition that he dealt with over and over and over again. The whole phrase from his missus, when they go low, we go high, I think is great. Always go high. And even now he's out of office, and the big blonde buffoons in office in America, how he's still keeping the positive messages going about this is what we can achieve, this is what's next. So I bet you didn't expect that, did you?
No, I didn't actually. That's good one. I like it. And I
I
feel
was expecting like Han Solo or someone.
Obviously, Han. No, not no,
no, I thought he was going Iron Man all day. He's like Tony Stark, everything. Do you know what though? Like, it's quite funny that like you should say that, because we were talking about it on podcast yesterday that will come out tomorrow, and we were saying how it needs to be somebody that you could actually get something from. You know what I mean? Like, it's really easy to pick somebody that's like, oh, they're dead clever, so I want to learn everything from them. But you might not actually be able to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
I feel like Barack Obama would be a good answer for that as well.
I'll definitely talk it. Like, I know I'm usually quite shy and don't talk a lot, but I like to have a conversation with someone and learn and glean their insights. Honestly, mate, for someone with a speech impediment, I don't half like the sound of me in the voice. really do. But yeah, so it's someone that you could sit down and spend 24 hours talking, and it'll feel like an hour. You're just engrossed in their conversation, their anecdotes, their wisdom that they've got to offer. A lot like this podcast. Yeah.
Okay. Who's better at CrossFit, me or you?
Me, obviously. Next.
Thought he was going to have to answer honestly and say me, and then I was going to have it on.
So was that once when I beat you in CrossFit Warrington, and then the Open 2 years ago when I beat you in the thrust and the chest bar one. Live on that.
So,
the fact that he knows the only 2 times that he's beat me.
I've got him tattooed on me. I'm a bear, mate.
Hysterically can power snatch.
I still remember that worst workout I ever did was that stupid. I think it was Holy Moon. Is it like 30 rounds? I think I heard Josh shout time. I was on round 7. Josh had finished. I was in the far corner of the gym, and then everyone. It was on like a lunchtime class, wasn't it? Everyone come round and just ate the lunch round me for 40 minutes. Literally took me about an hour and a half. I was like, because what I hate more is people just watching me. I'm like, people just I'm like, this isn't helping.
You took that long. I finished coaching the class and went and sat and had my dinner, and I was waiting for the next class.
That was horrendous, mate. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Is it not that ski burpees and squats one that I made you do?
That was recently, yeah. That was horrendous when I actually like walked out halfway through it and I've had enough.
Yeah.
I went, no, I'm not doing it. I just walked out.
I can't do it. I was like, oh shit,
I can't do it. Walked out.
Oh, Matt. Brilliant. Right, so I think there's some brilliant messages in there. Good.
Loads.
I'm gonna try and chop this up so that we've got a little bit of so we'll have a little bit of Matt.pilling advertising material as well, because it was awesome. That people can share. So first of all, Matt, thank you very much for coming on. Before we go though, is there any if people want to get in touch with you, obviously, or if they want to get in touch with Swan, we'll put the links below. Have you got anywhere like emails, or is there anything that if anybody wants to contact you direct that they can do?
Yeah, obviously, this depends. You can contact me on anything, obviously, because just me for a chat. I wanted to chin wag. It's cool. If you wanted to speak to me about the scouting stuff, and be it how you want to get involved in it, or scouts isn't what it used to be. Believe me, it's not a whole massively nerdy thing. If I haven't talked very well, talking about like Star Wars and comics and stuff all day. That used to be, or the inclusion work that I do, or the Prince's Trust work in terms of any support with any young, especially in this time of life right now, young people are struggling so much. Any advice you want on resilience, doing alcohol support, sexual health, mental health, give me a shout. The best one to get me on is probably my work one, because I'm always on that. So it's Matt.pilling at princess-trust.org.uk.
Cool. Yeah, I'll link that up in the notes below as well, so people can see it. To be like, one story we should tell is Matt Holt always carries a dildo in the back of his car.
Okay, let's put a slight bit of context around that box, shall we?
No,
That's it.
Thanks for joining CrossFit. No, go on. I'll let you explain it.
Yes, obviously.
Nobody will contact
As a
you.
youth worker, we do
As a
carry
youth worker, that's even worse.
Let me finish. Sexual health support kit. So in terms of condoms, lube,
So he carries
STI
condoms,
kit,
lubes, and dildos.
pregnancy test. And obviously, if you're going to demonstrate how to put a condom on, you can't use your own penis because that's illegal. So you have to have, I've been told, you've got to have a demonstrator which can look like a dildo. Yeah, so but it's coming useful. I've had requests at the gym for pregnancy tests, which I've been able to give out and support people with.
Just because our gym members are fully functioning members of society, and that's
And I've had to do a few STI tests on them, but you know what I mean. They're all a bit dirty.
always, but they all come back clean, so it's fine.
Yeah, first test anyway.
Right, brilliant. That was awesome, mate. Thank you very much for coming on and joining us today. Obviously, we're also every podcast. We just always at the moment as well want to thank all the key workers and everybody that's involved in helping us out and keeping the country functioning. I think we've got another week in lockdown, so you've got another week of podcast at the very least.
We've got another 3 weeks in lockdown. Let's be honest.
I'm just going as a minimum, but we're running out of friends as well. So if anybody's got any recommendations of people that they want to see on the podcast, by all means.
Let Mems do like a modelling masterclass.
Mems on Monday.
Yeah,
Is he?
on Monday. Yeah. So guys, thanks very much for tuning in to another episode of AgogeTV. If you enjoyed this podcast, please give it a 5-star review. Like, comment, share on Facebook and Instagram so that we can get it out there. Other than that, guys, thank you very much. Thanks for Josh and Pilling for joining us, and peace.
Cheers, Matt.